Hello and welcome to this tutorial on the challenge system in Crayta, where I'm going to be talking a little bit about how the challenge system works and how we can implement challenges in our games. But firstly, what exactly is a challenge? Well, a challenge is essentially a task that you set your player that may or may not be integral to your gameplay. So the challenge could be something like complete a level in the game or complete the game or complete the game backwards. But it could also be something a little bit of an aside, sort of like run around the circus tent 3 times or jump on a trampoline. So you can kind of offer whatever you like as your challenges, as long as you can make it in your game. And then once you've created a bunch of challenges, every day the challenge system will pick 3 of your challenges at random from your bank of challenges. So if I made 5 challenges, it would pick 3 of those at random, leaving 2 behind that would be possibly used another day. And so it picks those 3 every 24 hours. So one day, so the challenges will change every day. When players complete a challenge, they get a little bonus award thing that says you've completed this challenge. And if they complete 5 challenges, they get a bronze trophy to emote. And they keep those challenges. So if you complete 2 challenges on one day for a game and then 3 challenges the next day, that would then be your 5 challenges. And that's when you get your bronze trophy. So the challenge system updates every day. It changes the challenges every day, but you get to keep any challenges you complete until you get a maximum of, well, 5 is bronze, 10 is silver, and then 15 you get a gold trophy, which means you can emote that and you can show that off in the game and basically say, look at me, I am really good at this game. I've completed 15 challenges. I've played it a lot. You want to be on my team. That kind of system. And what do these challenges look like? So let's go and have a look at a game which already has challenges. So if I hit escape here and go to the play screen, that's me. Go to the Exploding Barrels game, which is made by Adam and Russ. You can see that they have made this game and they've tagged it with the challenges tag. And that's really helpful because that means that now I know that this game has got inbuilt challenges. And we can look at what challenges it has picked today by clicking on the little challenges tab up here. And we can see that today's challenges are blast a barrel, win as a survivor, and kill a survivor. So we can see, okay, so there's the 3 challenges that it's picked today are these 3. You can see my progress, which is here, and I've absolutely no progress on this game as yet, although I'm just about to jump into a game. So we'll see what happens there. So you can see I've completed no challenges at this point, and 0 out of 5. So once I complete 5 challenges, I'll get a little bronze trophy. So I could complete these 3 today and then another 2 tomorrow, and then I would get the trophy, which I could then emote to other people. And what's really cool is that Russ and Adam have chosen some really descriptive names for their challenges, which really describe how to complete the challenges, which is really, really useful. But it's also possible to give players like hints or riddles as the challenge. So, you know, you can make a bank of challenges where it's a real mixture of very descriptive, do this, or riddles that are like maybe, I don't know, bouncy, which is something that we are going to make today. So that's sort of what the challenges look like, and hopefully that part makes sense. Now let's crack on and add some challenges to this game. So this game is a target practice game. And what's really great about using the target practice starter template is it already has some of the challenges inbuilt. So any of the starter templates, other than the empty one, will have some challenges already there. So you can go and investigate and see how they're put together, and then create or edit them to make them your own, or create new ones to make your own. So I'll show you how to do some of that in this game. But first, let's have a look at what challenges are already existing in this target practice game. Now, to find the challenges, you might need to have a look around in some of the source code, which means you're going to need to use advanced mode. So I'm going to click on the user here. And if I go to race user and then have a look at the race user script, we look in here, we will find that when the player ends the race, there's this line of code on line 132, And what this is saying is get hold of the user. So self get entity in the context of this script means getting hold of the user, and then send challenge event. And this then sends a string, so some letters or numbers that relate to a challenge event, as well as any statistics or metadata that might be required to be viewed by the challenge system. So the challenge system essentially could interrogate whatever is in the statistics there and say, only complete this challenge if they've done X, Y, Z. So that's the important line of code, and it is just that one line of code there. And there's a difference actually between a challenge event and a challenge. So the challenge event here is this string, and that might relate to one challenge, but it could relate to many challenges. So it's really just like an event that's going to ping the challenge system and say, hey, this has happened in the game. Are there any challenges here that want to listen to that and change the challenge state depending on it? So we can go and have a look at where that ends up, if you like. So let's go over to the create.crayta.com. So if you head over to here, you'll find that in the create section, there's all of your games, as well as the ones that you've archived. You can see I've been through a lot of games. So the one I'm working on at the moment is this target practice one. So I click on that. And that will bring up this screen, which is all about my game details, which I will be doing a tutorial on in the future. But let's have a look at the challenges section here. And in the challenges, you can see that there's already some challenges that came bundled with my target practice. They were complete target practice 3 times, complete target practice in under 30 seconds, and hit any target. So this challenge event here that we looked at, this race end one, actually is used by a couple of different challenges in here. So we can see in complete target practice 3 times, if we just look down at the event name, we can see that this is listening out for the challenge event race end. So whenever I send up this challenge from the user, it essentially is being interrogated by this system and saying, race end, I know what that is. That's to do with this challenge, which is complete target practice 3 times. It's also to do with this challenge, complete target practice in under 30 seconds. So you can have multiple challenges for each challenge event. And that's really important. So you can limit how much code you have to write in the game and then really maximize the number of challenges that listen out for that. So it could be complete the game 5 times and complete the game 10 times and complete the game 15 times. You could have lots of different challenges based on just one challenge event that you call in the game code. So that's essentially what's going on this side. Now let's look at creating a challenge from scratch. So I'm going to go back to the game and I'm going to make a challenge, and it's going to be if the user jumps on the trampoline. So if the user jumps on the trampoline, I want to call it a challenge event. So I'm actually just going to copy this line of code here. And I'm going to open up the trampoline script. And I'm going to paste it here. And you can see I've already done this. Okay, so I've pasted the code here. So this is the line of code that we need, but it's not quite right. This is trying to get hold of a user at this point, but the self get entity will get hold of the trampoline. So we need to get hold of the user. And to do that, we can leverage this other. So this is being called on a trigger. So that means that the other is the character that runs into that trigger. So let's get hold of the character by doing other. So that's now whatever player, that's their character in the game. We can get hold of the user that is operating that character by using the get user command here. So now we've got the user, and we're sending the challenge event. And what we need to send is actually a different challenge event. So this one isn't the race end event. This is going to be trampoline. I'm just going to call it trampoline, the name of the challenge event. The stats don't actually exist, so we can send an empty table, or you could even send nil if you like. I'm not going to. I'm going to send an empty table just in case I want to add some stuff to that later on. I don't know, whatever that stuff might be. Jump on it backwards. I don't know. So we've now sending up a challenge event. So let's do the corresponding action in the events side of things, in the challenge API side of things. So let's add a challenge. This challenge is going to be called, the challenge ID just has to be a unique identifier. It basically can't be the same as any of these ones. So this was race 3, this was race under 30, this was hit target 1. I'm going to call this one trampoline, trampoline 1. And the display name, I'm going to call it bouncy bouncy. And this is what I was talking about earlier, where you can kind of give hints or riddles to your players, but you don't have to literally tell them what the challenge is. Although sometimes it's good to mix it up and have a few where it's really obvious, a few slightly riddly but really obvious ones, and then really obscure ones as well that are quite challenging or take some lateral thinking to think about. Just like keeping it fresh and mixing it up to using different display names there. You can edit the localized names, which means that you can add translated versions of this display name, which means if someone is in another country, they get it delivered to them in the language that their game is set to. So if they're speaking German and their Stadia is all set up to use German, then it would deliver that in German if you had the translation here. And it's a really good idea to do that where you can, so that people get the best experience possible out of your game. And if you need someone that speaks German or Spanish or Italian or French, you might want to message the Discord and just see if there's anyone out there that can help you translate some of your stuff. Everyone's really friendly in there. So yeah, that's a good idea. The icon, you can choose one of these icons that is most applicable. Now, if it's called Bouncy Bouncy, I feel like this is a very appropriate icon. The event name, which is the event we're listening out for. So this is the event name here, trampoline. So let's use that. In fact, I can copy that. Control C and then Control V in there. You can set it to active or not. If it's not set to active, it means that it won't be visible, which means that basically it won't be selected as one of the 3 challenges for that day. So that gives you the opportunity to make a load of challenges and then just turn on or off which ones you want to be accessible at any one time. And that just gives you that ability to sort of manipulate and play with your challenges after you've finished quite a lot. Total to complete. So how many times do you need to do it? So this bouncy bouncy one, I'm just going to do once, but it might be that another one is bouncy bouncy 10, and that needs you to jump on it 10 times. I don't know. So you only need to do this once to get this challenge, and that's it. That's all I need to do. I'm going to save challenges, and now that's propagated across all of Crayta, so that when someone plays my game, they will find that this is a challenge that they could possibly do. And you can keep adding more challenges. I've got this hit a target challenge here, so we could keep doing that. Let's go back in the game and test the bouncy bouncy challenge. So pressing F5 to test my game, and I go over here and I bounce on the bouncy castle, and then if you look at the bottom, you can see challenge completed, bouncy bouncy. It's right there. And actually, as I've got the console open, let's take a look at the challenges tab. So here in the challenges tab, it tells you where you can edit the challenges in your game, and you can literally see what challenges you have shooting. It's not paused. You can see what challenges you have available, and you can also see how many times you've completed them. For example, this complete target practice 3 times, it's saying I haven't completed it once yet, so it's 0 out of 3. So it's even telling me I'm expecting you to complete this 3 times in order to get hold of this challenge. So this is a really useful part of the console which relates to the challenges now. So that's a really useful thing to do. If you're not sure whether your challenge is set up correctly, you can go and investigate it both on the create.crayta.com and in your console and just check to make sure it's working. Now, I'm just going to talk a little bit further about the challenge system because we're going to look at the conditions aspect. If I go back to this challenge section here, and you can see in any of these challenges, there's actually this conditions part. And I'm going to change this hit any target. And I'm going to say hit the, this is going to be hit the cannon. Or fire the cannon. Fire the cannon. I think that's still a suitable. I'll change it to this one. Cool. So the event name is still going to be hit target, even though it was hit any target before. I want to specifically see whether a player has hit the cannon. Now I know that if I go back into this, I know that in the target script, there is actually the possibility that this is sending up the target that we've just hit. Now I'm just going to use this because it's in here. Okay, it's not in the target script. Yeah, it's actually in, if I go to user, target user, I know that in there is the target user script, and in the target user script, it tells the player when they've hit something, and at the same time, if they've hit something, it sends this challenge event hit target, which is what this challenge was listening for, the challenge event hit target, and it actually sends up the name, target name equals target get name. It sends up in this little table here, sends up the name of what you've just hit, which means we can go into here and we can interrogate that using the conditions section. So if I want to check that it hit the cannon, I can add a condition and I can say, okay, I want to see whether string, so this is a string because it's letters and numbers, and it's target get name. I want to see whether target name, which is the name of this string, target name, is the name of this parameter. And you can see that because it's on the left-hand side here. Is that equal to, now let's go and get the name of the cannon. So going back into my game world, go over here to my cannon. The cannon is called Circus Cannon 1, which is a beautiful name for a cannon. Let's go to here and check whether target name is equal to Circus Cannon 1. And it will say explicitly underneath what my condition now is. Will pass if that is that. Fire the cannon challenge will be updated if hit target is received with target name equal Circus Cannon. Before I test that, I need to make sure I save it, save challenges. Okay, that's all saved. Now let's go back into the game. So this challenge now, I walk up to my target practice area. And if I shoot that cannon, so let's shoot some things, test that it's not just working for all of them. So notice I haven't got some kind of hit any target challenge anymore. And if I hit the cannon, I get the fire the cannon challenge completed down here. And also I can see that 1 out of 1 challenge is completed in the console. Target name equals Circus Cannon 1 string. Brilliant. So that's how you use the conditions. So you don't have to write the conditions in your code, which means you can send up events and then you can check what conditions they meet in your challenge API, which means they're very decoupled and it's a lot nicer for your code. Just one line of code to do the challenge and then managing all the challenges in here. So that's essentially it. That's the challenge system. Hopefully that was a useful tutorial. I really look forward to seeing what challenges you come up with in your games. And I'm going to be playing lots and lots of games every 24 hours to see the different challenges that arrive in those 3 random challenges that are picked every 24 hours and then refreshed. So it really draws your players back into playing the next day to make sure that, oh, what's the new challenge for today? Oh, it's hit the cannon, hit the jack in the box, and hit the fortune teller. And you can just keep, doing new challenges all the time and adding to that bank of challenges. So yeah, hopefully that was useful. I really look forward to seeing your challenges. If you get stuck, as usual, hit us up in the Discord. You can @ me. You can go to the Lua help section if you're getting stuck with the Lua part of it, or the Ask Anything section, and ask away about the challenges if you're getting stuck with any of that stuff there. And I really look forward to seeing you in the game.